In this episode of Viral Rewind, we're going to look at the Atas-DOS virus. Now, this virus is pretty simple. It's a memory resident file infector, so when we run Atas, it'll run the program loaded into memory, and then it will take over interrupt 21, which of course is used for file infections, but it will also make use of, again, I'm not sure which interrupt it is off the top of my head. It might be interrupt 8, but it watches the keyboard interrupt as well, which is going to matter into the payload that Atas does. So let me go out of the DOS directory into our temp directory. And if we look here, we can see Atas 12.1, so that is our file. We run Atas, we get a little printout here from, I guess would be the stealth group, which is the virus author. They call it the Great Virus Zoo, collected 1992-95, a whole bunch of stuff there. I'm not going to really bother reading that. But the virus is now loaded in memory, and what it will do is it will infect all .com files that are run, including command.com. In fact, that's one of the files that it will automatically go out and infect on first run, so it guarantees that it starts up with the computer every time command.com is loaded. So we'll go into our temp DOS directory, and say we'll look at something like format.com, which we know is 22,987. We run format, pauses momentarily, but if we look back at format, we'll see that the size of format has not gone up. And that's because Atas has built-in stealth, so it will not increase the file size to where the user will notice it. So, as long as it's resident in memory, you're not going to see the file size increase. We can do it with other things as well, like sys.com. Again, it started out at 11.472. We ran it. It still says 11.472. Again, Atas has infected it, but we cannot see the file size increase from the infection. Now, it leaves executable files alone, or at least it's supposed to. So let's look at mem, for instance. And the size is unchanged. But again, it's designed to infect .com type of files. It's not going to touch the .exes. So that's pretty much how the virus infects files. It's pretty simple. Now, the payload is instantaneous, and again, it refers back to monitoring the keyboard interrupt, because the thing with Atas is that its payload is triggered whenever the print screen key on the keyboard is pressed. And what does it do when you press the print screen key? Why, it drops all the text to the bottom of the screen and just piles it all up there. Now, this is a variation of Cascade's payload. Cascade has all the characters on the screen fall down to their bottommost point on the screen, but they do it one character at a time. Here with Atas, they tend to do it all at one time. And so, Cascade is one of those that we haven't looked at yet. It's one that I would like to, but I haven't seemed to have gotten any variant to work on this IBM system, or even the Packard Bell system trying to run a separate version of DOS on that. So I don't know what the deal is with Cascade, but again, Atas is pretty much a variant of the Cascade payload, but much, much faster. So we just brought our DOS directory up, hit print screen, and everything drops down. Then we exit, and then go back, and do it again. And see, it just kind of falls down to the screen there. Now, because I got this nice 60 Hz refresh, red screen, and drops the C:/ from top to bottom. So, anything that's ever done on the screen, whether it's whatever's displayed on the screen there, regardless of how we do it, anytime print screen is hit, it drops all the text down. And I'm guessing, let's see, yeah, we can run the payload over and over as it's listing something out of a directory and just pile everything on top of each other. And that's really all Atas does. Whenever, again, the computer loads up, it will run the infectedcommand.com with Atas, so anytime the print screen key is pressed, it will just cause all these falling characters to fall down on the screen. So that is basically it for the Atas DOS virus.